Hepiniz Allah'a emanetsiniz. Yolunuz açık olsun.
For a long time, I've been fascinated with the idea of long-distance space travel. What's really necessary if there's no hyperspeed like in the fantasy sci-fi movies, but if we really want to do it, that means that people are trapped in a tin can for a really long time.
You're waking from extended hypersleep. This is disorientation.
We felt that a science fiction survival story was the very good backdrop to tell a very personal story about a man trying to find himself in this madness.
It's a genre that is just endlessly fascinating because, of course, as long as you keep the story human, you can do pretty much what you want with it because nobody knows. It's uncharted territory.
It starts with Ben looking out while we move in, then the camera is closed. And when the camera is closed, Ben, you say, "Did you see that?" And action!
I love science fiction stories, especially when they're good. When I read a script, that's the only time that I actually get to be an audience member with a first-time experience of it. And Pandorum was such an interesting read.
You follow the Bao character from the minute he wakes up in his hypersleep pod, which is a nightmare situation. It's not like Star Trek where they push a button and they go from one end of the universe to the other. It's a very painful process. So we wanted to convey that minute by minute, scene after scene, they learn more about themselves, they learn more about the human condition, and they learn more about human nature.
Survival of the fittest, or maybe it's the brightest.
I don't read a lot of science fiction scripts that are well written, and this one kept my attention. I kept turning the page, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next, and there's so many different avenues.
The script for Pandorum was written by Travis Malloy. It was great fun. It was a great genre piece. It was very scary, very atmospheric, but it needed to be elevated to make it different. So I told Christian about it, and amazingly, it was very similar to a project he was already working on.
I had developed a huge story about long-distance space travel, and then Robert and Jeremy sent me the script from Travis that had a lot of similar ideas. I was shocked because I was developing that secretly for me. I pitched them my take on the subject matter, and thankfully we merged it together and came up with Pandorum.
Peyton, Pandorum, you ever felt the symptoms?
Well, things to remember. Why would you pick that?
The word Pandorum means orbital dysfunctional syndrome, or ODS, which is caused by the vastness and loneliness and isolation of space.
Starts with a shiver. We all know Pandorum is greatly affected by any substantial psychological trauma. It has an emotional trigger effect.
It's actually based on some truth. We don't know the effects of space travel over long periods of time. A lot of why we go into space right now in the shuttle and orbital flight and with the space station that they have is to determine the long-term effects on human beings in space.
What was very important to me was that it was grounded in some kind of reality so that the audience could relate to the characters but also to the story, because we realized that no one really knows quite what is going to happen to human beings when they go into space. In the same way that warfare has led to a series of psychological situations, so I'm sure space travel will.
If you want to stay here to die, that is your choice. I gave you an order. Not mine! Not mine!
You really have to dig deep and believe the circumstances that you're put into, which was hard. Being in space, having humanity rest on your shoulders, and the claustrophobic feeling, the paranoia, just the fear that's involved with all of those things took a lot.
Who's the one being irrational here, Lieutenant? Who's the one being delusional? I'm getting off this ship. The flight is over!
I'd like to create a situation that arises questions about humanity, and I think if you're on a spaceship with the last survivors of humanity, it's kind of an allegory for us because Earth is a big spaceship and we have limited resources like the guys in our movie have, and we're fighting over how to use them and what our common goal is. Just by putting them in that situation, that environment, it creates a lot of parallels and questions that you can answer by just showing how different characters react differently to it.
Just like Columbus set out from Spain to find the new world, that's what we're going to do eventually with space travel. This Earth we live on probably is not going to last forever.
We should run.
hell are they?
Never quite felt like sticking around to find out.
If you look at the idea of Pandorum, that every character is, representing a stage of how civilized he is and how much he is all about survival, then Bauer on one end is the most human-like character that wants for everybody to basically work together.
We all want to survive.
And then on the very far down, almost primal level are the hunters. That are just about surviving, eating everything, even themselves, if somebody's wounded, and it's just representing the most primal desires in human beings.
Human beings are capable of anything under the right circumstances. It comes back to one thing, survival, self-preservation.
And Hunter, action!
The special effects people are geniuses.
That was a long process of finding the look, the costumes, the weapons, the choreography of the moves, the technology of how to put them on film. I mean, it's a huge and long development process.
The important thing with the costume was that they needed to look very strong in silhouette, because we believed shadows would help create a sense of dread and suspense. They also needed to be wearing costumes that you could believe were made from materials on the ship. Physically, they needed to be strong, but emaciated. There's not a lot of healthy protein in their diet. So we needed people who were very lithe, but not bulky. When it is finally revealed that they are in fact descendants of ours, the audience will go, wow, I believe that.
The idea is to come up with something new, something different. So many things have been done, so many horror movies and science fiction films, that it's a little bit challenging to come up with a new concept, a new creature concept, or a new idea, but there's lots of ways you can go. So it's basically doing conceptual art, doing sculptures, doing tests, going back, changing it a little. It's how you photograph it, it's how the director chooses to present the creature. So you use your imagination. That's your greatest tool with these kinds of films. Once you have your concept designs down and they approve it, then you can actually meet an actor, do a head cast, get the proper measurements and things, and start sculpting the pieces. We've done film tests, and you have time to kind of like sit back and with a painterly eye go, well, it needs, it needs a little more of this, a little less. We'll actually continue darkening his skin after the costume's on. There's another layer that goes on, but the idea is that the costume and the skin kind of feel like they're cohesive to it, like they're part of the character. There's around 18 different looks, so we have to start very early in the morning and get them ready, and then shoot all day, and clean them up at night, get ready for the next day.
Christian put a huge amount of effort into being different but also believable. And I think that's what the crew felt when they first saw the sets.
It was shocking. I don't know if I was just expecting there to be a lot of green screens or half sets. I mean, I was literally blown away. It looks real, it really does.
The sets are remarkable. It's a weird mix because on one side it's so claustrophobic, and on the other side they keep going on, so it's so endless.
The set design was very impressive. The sets are designed to provoke a certain experience, and the set design was very effective in that department.
We felt that the more realistic our sets will look, the more the actors will be able to convey real emotions, and especially when it gets to a point of fear and vertigo and claustrophobia.
Doing science fiction, the set has not only to be done in a way that it looks good, but also in a resourceful way so that you get all the shots and still not be $200 million. Because every time you look into a different direction, something has to be built. There's nothing that you can just shoot as is.
When we hired Richard Brislin, our production designer, we had about 54, 55 different sets in the script, and his first job was to figure out how he could melt or how he could blend these 54 different locations into one unique look.
We've ended up building 12 sets in all, and we've got all 45 different spaces out of those 12 sets. So pretty much every single set that I've built is designed to turn into at least one other thing, and sometimes 2 or 3 other things. For instance, the set behind me, the biolab here, started life as the hypersleep chamber, and then it got revamped into the command bridge, and now currently we're redoing it as the biolab.
I'm going to lay out a path for you and try to bypass the main security grids.
Part of the challenge was that we wanted to keep the audience engaged in this sort of road movie as Bauer and Peyton and Nadia are going through this labyrinth within the ship.
I used a lot of photographs of sort of underground places as well, and industrial places. The entire ship is completely utilitarian. Space travel shouldn't be comfortable. It should be like a functional thing where you go to sleep, and this is a warehouse for carrying people across space. It's not some sort of boutique hotel that kind of travels through space with beautiful corridors that are all with lovely paneling and gorgeous lighting in them and everything. That actually is a much harder experience. In a sense, there was sort of marrying, you know, the kind of gothic horror movie element into a spaceship, and that was equally interesting because I think it creates a very different look for a spaceship as you know, a futuristic spaceship as we imagine it.
Yeah, no, even closer to that. That's good. That's pretty cool.
How's that as far as far?
No, this is good.
Well, Christian is the reason we're all here. He's 34 years old, but he performs like a director who's been doing this for 40 years. There's not a wasted shot in this film, and every shot in it relates to the spine of the story, to the psychology of the characters, and to the mythology.
When I met him the first time and I saw his big books full of his shot lists, right? And it's unbelievable how well prepared he is for every day.
He has 800 storyboards for this film, 800 pictures that he knows inside and out. He is certainly the most visually prepared and focused director I've ever met.
Christian's most distinct characteristic as a director is that he storyboards the entire film. Every frame, not just action, dialogue scenes. That's one of the great things about working with a director as a producer, is you want him to surprise you and better your ideas. And Christian does that without fail.
Can we do a rehearsal?
He's an extremely strong-willed, visionary director, I would say. He's consistently pushing for 25 to 30 setups a day, which is a very high number of setups on a complicated film involving special effects.
81's completed.
We'll be done by noon!
It gives us a lot of freedom inside the world of all that technical stuff, which is nice, you know, because those can kind of get blurred and one is more important, but he's kind of have it a perfect balance, which is great.
It's really inspiring to see the hours, the time, and the rigor that people bring to bringing a sci-fi picture to life. It's very abstract playing in sci-fi, and you want to root it in something real, but it's also somewhat graphic novel, so we're all walking this tightrope of finding a quality that feels right.
They're some of the finest work of movie magic I've seen, and I've seen a lot of stuff.
This is a science fiction film because it's in the future and we're in space. But it's also a universal story. That's when science fiction movies really work. You're telling this fantastic story, yes, but we're having human experiences that everyone can relate to.
It's a very ambitious project, so we had to really put everything that we had into making it work.
It's very difficult to be original. There have been so many great science fiction films that are part of popular culture. We needed to try to be a little different because our story is very different. What happens in Pandorum, I have not seen in any other science fiction film.
In 1959, the United States announced their first astronauts. Known as the Mercury 7, these men were regarded as astute team players who could keep their cool under enormous pressure. From the beginning, astronauts were at the forefront of space and technology, pioneering some of the most exciting scientific discoveries and achievements in human history.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 2050, the Hubble 4 Sim-Light telescope found a planet slightly smaller than our own, circling a star in a galaxy nearly 40 light-years away. Advanced images pointed to it being Earth-like. In 2055, the Populus probe left Earth to explore the planet we now call Taunus. In 2218, the lander sent back images from the surface of Taunus that revealed oceans and mountainous tropical islands that mirror those on Earth we now only see in textbooks. More importantly, it confirmed what scientists hoped, that the atmosphere is nearly identical to ours. As you know, the Earth's climate has become increasingly unsuitable for humankind, with sandstorms ravaging Europe to equatorial temperatures reaching over 135 degrees. We looked to Taunus for hope. With a crew of 5,000, the vessel called the Eden was redirected to Gliese 581d to assist in deep space transmissions between Earth and Taunus. In 2248, its sister vessel, the Elysium, will depart with a single trajectory for Taunus, with our team aboard. The Elysium is truly the most advanced embryonic charter ever built. Knowing we would need livestock and wildlife repopulation on the planet, the ISA partnered with the Brandenburg Institute for Evolutionary Genetics to create the BioVault aboard the Elysium. An ecological development genetic sampling team will hold these DNA samples in state-of-the-art microbiological containers. This team of scientists has already begun collecting and readying specimens from Earth's biosphere to bring to Taunus. When you arrive on Taunus, you'll find that although similar, there are distinct differences from Earth. There's less oxygen and slightly less gravity. The work will be difficult, but the rewards will be great. The world needs you at the frontiers of space and technology, and you have taken the first step. Welcome to ISA's Flight Team Corps. You are now part of mankind's greatest endeavor.
It's dead. Just as everything else.
I can do this. Yeah, well, you better hurry. I think I hear something.
Grip, Christian.
Wait. It's on.
Oh, Mateo, holy shit. Nothing else on this entire ship is working. You get this bitch to hum right up.
Yeah, I just know electronics. Yeah, well, who knows how long it has. Lucy, you gotta do this. I don't even know where to begin.
Okay. We're with the biolab team. We have no idea where anyone else is or who else is even alive.
We haven't seen anyone new in days. And those things with the blue lights, they're everywhere. We are so dead.
Cooper, to whoever's watching this, you need to know what's going on. If you wake up in the dark like we did, you have to know what you're up against if you even want to stand a chance. We are being hunted and killed. These things are insanely powerful. You can't fight them. If you see their blue lights, just run.
And hide.
They're human, and yet not.
2 members of our team have already been taken by them. Eve Fitch and Roger Croft.
And like an idiot, Nadia went after them when they grabbed Roger. What the hell did she think she was doing?
Guys. Nadia loved Roger. You know that. You would have done the same damn thing.
No, I wouldn't.
Guys, focus. Here, take this for a second. Regardless, there were 6 of us, and now there's only 3. You can't stop them. You can't fight them.
We need to remember that we have an important mission that needs to be carried on. And that's what we have to show you. If we don't make it, that's where anyone who is watching this comes in.
What was that? No. Lower left.
Cooper, chill out. It was nothing.
We should move down anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Why are we stopping? Go!
The goddamn corridor door's jammed. We can't get out.
So we're at a dead end. Look, here, take this. I'll get it going. You can fix it. Just give me a second.
Here, turn here. Here, hand me the case. Let's finish this so we can put the damn camera away. This is why we are here. These are the specimens for Taunus. We've been trying to rescue as many as possible from the different labs that are around the ship and bring them back to the central BioVault. Most of the specimens are already located there, but we need to find them all.
Wait.
It is more important than our own existence. This will ensure our future existence on Thomas.
Wait, I think I hear something.
God damn it, no, you don't hear something, Cooper. You've been saying that for hours. Will you just calm the fuck down? Mateo!
I told you I heard something. God damn it!
Pin it in.
This can't be happening. This cannot be happening.
Here, film this.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Film this. Hopefully, whoever wakes up and finds this sees where the specimens are hidden. You are our only hope now. Our future existence depends on you.
This will not be in vain.